More about the blast that has taken place in Pakistan, where 3 suicide bombers have been killed during the attack on the Charsadda court in Pakistan. What we're hearing is that one attacker exploded when the police fired at him at the gate. One lawyer has also been killed. 15 others have sustained injuries. They have been now moved to the Tehsil Tangi Hospital in Charsadda. I'm going to go straight across now to India Today's Kasper Klastra, who joins us for more on this. Kasper, first of all, just tell us what exactly happened. Give us the very latest updates you have.
Well, Avantika, as you rightly pointed out, 3 suicide attackers have been killed by law enforcement agencies in Charsadda, and a dozen of the people got multiple injuries and are rushed to the nearby hospitals. It was really an unfortunate incident, as the police sources said that the 3 suicide bombers attacked the session and district courts early this morning, and due to the high security and vigilance by the law enforcement agencies, they were all killed. This is what I'm getting from a source at the moment.
Right. We also have with us editor India Today, Shiv Arur. Shiv, what do you make of these repeated terror attacks, Pakistan being struck by terror yet again? I mean, it was just recovering from the very recent blast that took place in Sehwan in Sindh.
Avantika, this is Charsadda, which is very close to Peshawar and also not very far from the Afghan border, which has currently been sealed. Remember that Pakistan has mounted an aggressive posture on Afghanistan. As far as the Taliban is concerned, they've been trying to bolster their defenses in an ironic manner. Whether we should read this attack in conjunction with what has been happening as far as the Pakistan army in Afghanistan is concerned is not known just yet. We should wait a while before we draw any conclusions as to the responsibility for this attack. But this happening in the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province, not very far from Peshawar, is definitely significant. Were these people specifically looking for the bloodshed of Pakhtuns? Who is responsible? What next? What kind of action will this mean within that province? Will the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan or any other group claim responsibility for this particular attack? What is the significance of this happening right outside a court? All of these questions still unanswered. We're hoping to get answers in the next few minutes.
Absolutely. Shiv, stay with me. We also have with us Hamza Amir to tell us a little bit more about these blasts that have taken place at a local court in the area in Charsadda. Hamza, can you just give us more updates as to what are you hearing from your sources? Is the firing still on?
Well, the sources are saying the firing is not being heard anymore, but yes, they heard multiple blasts in Tehsil Tangi in Charsadda. Now, Charsadda happens to be a place where recently there was an attack on Bacha Khan University, where terrorists were able to enter inside the university and they killed a considerable amount of students and teachers in there. Now, the target seems to be the session court, because the suicide bomber was able to come close to the main gate, and because he was not allowed inside, he blew himself outside at that gate. That is why the casualties have not been too much. Even the injured people, as we speak right now, are standing at 5. So this is something that the sources are confirming right now, though we are not sure of who actually is behind the attack. But yes, this is for certain that Pakistan, after launching its offensive, in retaliation or reaction to the series of suicide blasts that occurred in all parts of Pakistan, claimed lives of hundreds, has actually killed over 100 terrorists, has carried out its strikes inside Pakistan, inside Afghanistan border twice, and has been actually taking this offensive on a new level when it comes to countering terrorism. While I think this seems to be a reaction to that, because right now Pakistan is on the offensive, and yes, these reactions are expected. But Charsadda being the target, session courts being targeted, it brings back the memories of the deadly brutal attack in Quetta that claimed lives of so many lawyers and judges as well. So this time, while it is a terrorist attack, though it seems that the security parameters were in place, that's why the suicide bomber was not able to enter inside the session court.
Absolutely. But why do you think, Hamza, the session court in particular was the target this time around?
I think, these places are softer targets. You see, the Seven Blast was targeted as a shrine at a time when there was a lot of people present during that ritual that were being practiced over there. Similarly, attacks have been carried out in markets and where through softer targets can be targeted. Lawyers are the prime target only for the fact that there are cases being heard regarding terrorists, and capital punishments have been given in the past. Militants, including the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, including Islamic State's Khorasan chapter called Pakistani faction Daesh, and Jamaat-ul-Ahrar have been saying that these institutions who are actually working against, as they say, to their agendas will be their prime target. And out of all these security installations, I think the courts and the judges and lawyers seems to be one of the most softer target, where they, even if they target and they blow themselves up there, the number of casualties are always very high.
Yes, and Kasper, we've seen such attacks being made on lawyers in the past as well in Pakistan. But speaking of the blast that has occurred, can you just give us an update on what kind of assistance is being given to the injured? Kasper, can you hear me?
Yes, please. What's the question, please?
Yes. Can you just tell us where exactly are the injured being taken to, and the kind of security cordon around this court? What are you hearing from your sources? What is the latest?
According to my sources, the injured have been rushed to the district headquartered hospital in Charsadda, and some of my sources in Rescue 1122 has just informed that the badly injured have been rushed to the main hospital, a lady reading hospital in Peshawar, which is situated at a distance of 35 kilometers from the place of incident. This is what I'm getting from my sources. And also, as you have rightly pointed out, 3 suicide bombers have been killed by the law enforcement agencies, but still, given the condition of the injured, the badly injured who are rushed to the Lady Regan Hospital in Peshawar, I can guess we can, unfortunately, the death toll may rise to 3 to 5 people as well.
Executive Editor Gaurav Sawant is also with us. Gaurav, is this a result of the attacks that has been made by Pakistan on militant hideouts? Because if I'm not mistaken, Afghanistan didn't send out a very stern warning to Pakistan of retaliation if those attacks continue.
These, of course, investigations will show us, but in the past, Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan has targeted Charsadda and this entire area. Now, this is the area where Pakistan claims that it's fought a very successful Zarb-e-Azb or a war on terror, and this is the area where Pakistan is repeatedly being targeted. The reason for that is Pakistan is indiscriminately killing people, massacring people, using heavy artillery, using its fighter jets, and that is why there is a lot of anger against Pakistan Army's brutality in this region. As far as Afghanistan is concerned, Afghanistan is also, like India, a victim of Pakistan-sponsored terror. So while Pakistan may have closed the Afghan-Pakistan border, while Pakistan may have used heavy artillery in targeting people in Afghanistan, it's the indiscriminate killing of its own people that's leading to these fissures within Pakistan, and that is something that Pakistani state is still not coming to grips with. This discrimination between good terrorists and bad terrorists, it continues. So while it does target the Lashkar-e-Jhangvi or the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan or the Tehreek-e-Taliban and Jamaat-ul-Ahrar, it takes absolutely no action against Jaish-e-Mohammed or Lashkar-e-Taiba or the Hizbul Mujahideen, and this distinction is now killing Pakistan.
Absolutely. And Hamza, just recently what happened in Sevan, Sindh was also unfortunate, whereas 100 devotees lost their life, or I think more than that. How is the Pakistan establishment, tackling this kind of militant attacks and suicide bombings that has been witnessed in the last 10 days itself?
Well, I think, these series of bomb blasts have actually hit Pakistan as a very serious surprise when it, it was claiming its success on Zarb-e-Azb and other operations. It actually popped up in such a way that it actually caught Pakistan napping, if I would not be wrong in saying that. And that is why this immediate reaction has been launched. In Punjab province, rangers are being given control for absolute wipeout operation when it comes to rooting out terrorism. Then Pakistan has always been in denial of footprints of Islamic State inside Pakistan. They've always said that there is no footprint or foot on ground
when it comes to the establishment of Islamic State. Now you see Daesh and Islamic State Khorasan chapter keep popping back up, claiming responsibilities, and that is what is that, that probably this denial has actually costed Pakistan severely, because now when they were in denial, probably these militant factions were able to actually set themselves up and strategize their plans as well, because all these attacks that have been done, the counter-terrorism department has said days and days of recce and surveillance was done before the attacks were carried out. That means that there are terrorists in Pakistan, even present right now, and they need to be sorted out. So Pakistan is on that process. But yes, attacks inside Afghan border, Afghanistan government's reaction was not very comfortable. And then killing around 100 people within the span of 24-48 hours,
yes,
obviously it will have a reaction, and that reaction is coming from within Pakistan. So this is very important that Pakistan realizes it sooner than later, that there are footprints of terrorists inside Pakistan at present, and they need to be sorted out rather than looking around the borders.
Absolutely. Hamza and Kaspar, thank you both. Gaurav, I would request you to stay on with me, because we're getting in some news now from Jammu and Kashmir. What we're hearing is that the BSF has foiled an infiltration bid along the line of control in the Keri sector of Rajouri. One terrorist has also been gunned down. Observing suspicious movement along the line of control, troops opened fire on a group of 3 to 4 terrorists. While one terrorist has been neutralized, others managed to escape, taking advantage of the hilly terrain. The encounter lasted for half an hour, and what we hear is that one AK-47 rifle and 6 loaded magazines have also been recovered from the slain terrorists. Gaurav, can you give us more details about this encounter? Can you give us more details on the combing operations that, understandably would also be taking place right now, with the news coming in that some of those terrorists managed to escape?
This is technology coming to the aid of the border security force at the line of control. They were able to spot these terrorists some distance away. As soon as the terrorists came very close to the fence, the BSF opened fire. One terrorist was killed, but the others did not run away. And this goes on to indicate the complicity of the Pakistani state, because Pakistani army is deployed just across the line of control, and there was firing that lasted for good half hour to enable the terrorists to infiltrate under cover of that fire. But the BSF in this Keri sector in Rajouri relentlessly fired back. One terrorist was killed, and the others who were trying to infiltrate appear to have gone back. Now, after dawn, when the BSF was patrolling this area, what they noticed was one dead body, one AK-47 assault rifle, and the fact that they were coming for a longer mission, that dry fruits, food, waterproof material, and night vision devices. And that goes on to show that Pakistan state had armed these terrorists well for a night operation. One night vision device was also seen, spotted, but not recovered, because it's on the other side of the fence just as yet. But those recoveries will happen, and India says they will pursue this with Pakistan on the other side. But infiltration attempts and Pakistan-sponsored terror continues unabated, despite Pakistan claiming to be a victim of terror.
But it's interesting, Gaurav, about just how we've seen another double speak by Pakistan, and this is a complete U-turn coming in from the country, where the Pakistan's defense minister has gone on record at the Munich Security Conference saying Hafiz Saeed can pose a serious threat to the society. This is for the very first time that Pakistan has conceded that it has created a Frankenstein monster. India has so far been demanding for strict action against Jamaat-ud-Dawa chief Hafiz Saeed, who is also the mastermind of the 26/11 Mumbai terror attack, which had killed more than 160 people. Gaurav, I want to understand from you what has led to this sudden realization that Hafiz Saeed indeed poses to be a very grave threat to the country.
We're still waiting for more details of what Khwaja Asif said at the Munich Security Conference. He did say that Hafiz Saeed could pose a threat to society, but he didn't elaborate on this. And so far, we've seen that Pakistan has taken absolutely no action against Hafiz Saeed. It's 9 years after 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks. They may have put him under house arrest, which they've done even in the past, but they haven't prosecuted him, gathering evidence of a plot that was hatched in Pakistan. So he's actually an arm of the Pakistani state, works in tandem with ISI. So, you know, analysts in India and commentators in South Bloc are looking at it as Pakistan trying to deflect international pressure. There is tremendous international scrutiny on funding of Falah Insaniyat Foundation run by Hafiz Saeed, Jamaat-ud-Dawa and Lashkar-e-Taiba. So after 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks, Hafiz Saeed was put under house arrest. He just emerged, as many commentators say, as you know, Pakistan's Santa Claus, as a charity worker, which he isn't. He's a terrorist, but you know, he morphed himself as a charity worker. This time, sources are saying he wants to float a political party. So after this house arrest, he will emerge and he wants to float a political party and become a political leader. So is there apprehension in the existing political leadership of Pakistan, or are they only trying to deflect international pressure, is the question here.
That's an interesting point you made, Gaurav. With that, we'll have to just leave it at that point. Thanks so much for joining us. Moving on now to the other story about Foreign Secretary S. Jaishankar, who is all set to hold crucial talks with China's top diplomat Yang Jiechi on Tuesday on a very important visit to Beijing amid strained relations with China after it has twice blocked India's bid to get Jaish-e-Mohammed chief Masood Azhar declared as a UN-designated terrorist. On Wednesday, India and China will hold an upgraded strategic dialogue, as Jaishankar will also be meeting with the Chinese Executive Vice Foreign Minister. S. Jaishankar is likely to raise India's entry into the nuclear supplies group and its ongoing efforts to sanction the Pakistan terrorist Masood Azhar at the UN Security Council Committee. Now, both efforts have run into some resistance from China, and ahead of these talks, China appeared unrelenting in its opposition to get Masood Azhar banned by the United Nations. In fact, after blocking India's application twice to get him banned, China this year once again has put a 6-month technical hold on this particular move after the US moved the proposal in the United Nations Security Council to depute Azhar as a terrorist. A quick update from India Today's Anand Krishnan, who joins us now. Anand, so can we expect a slight thaw in the diplomatic chill? Can we expect some of those friction points between the two nations to be addressed in this meeting?
Well, that's the question, Avantika. It seems pretty clear that China is digging in its heels on both issues from what we heard from the Foreign Ministry in the last couple of days. The Foreign Secretary, of course, will be meeting China's top diplomat a couple of hours from now. And tomorrow would be the upgraded strategic dialogue between India and China. We can most certainly expect both issues that you highlighted to be raised very strongly by India. But whether or not they could bridge their differences, of course, is something that doesn't seem very likely.
Okay, Anand, thanks so much for joining us.